In a quiet neighborhood on the south side of Chicago lived a woman named Elena and her husband Marcus. They were known as that couple, not because they were loud, not because they were rich, but because, after 22 years of marriage, they had no children. Every Sunday morning, as Elena and Marcus walked hand in hand to church, whispers followed them. Why stay married if there are no children? Isn't a family incomplete without kids? Maybe one of them is cursed. They heard it all, but they never let go of each other's hands. Years earlier, when doctors confirmed that having children would be nearly impossible, Marcus had looked at Elena and said, "I didn't marry you to have children. I married you to have you." That night, they made a promise. They promised that mockery would never break them. They promised to grow old together. And they promised, no matter what, we will live together and we will die together. While neighbors raised families, Elena filled her home with warmth. Marcus filled it with laughter. They mentored children, fed the homeless, and quietly paid school fees for kids who weren't theirs, but loved them like their own. Yet the mockery never stopped. At block parties, they were ignored. At gatherings, questions became weapons. But every night, in their small Chicago apartment, Marcus would hold Elena and say, "The world doesn't get to define our love." Years passed, winter after winter. Then one cold December morning, a neighbor noticed something unusual. The lights in Elena and Marcus's home had not turned on. When the door was opened, they were found lying side by side in bed, hands intertwined. They had passed peacefully, together. No struggle, no separation, just like they promised. The same neighbors who once mocked them now stood in silence at their funeral. The pastor said one sentence that day that no one forgot. Some people leave behind children. Others leave behind a lesson. And Elena and Marcus left the world this lesson. Love does not need witnesses to be real. It only needs commitment.